Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, the KRUGER L-21 Wolf. Let's go ahead and take a look. Welcome back to another review. Today, the KRUGER L-21 Wolf, a new ship coming with 4.3. Hopefully later today we will see. Thank you, Zero Grav, for joining me on this review. And it's a fantastic looking ship. It truly is. And unlike a lot of the people out there, I actually really like the fin. Do I think it's a little bit oversized? Sure, but I think it really offsets the look on the rear end and makes it look kind of cool and honestly almost like a boat. But otherwise, this ship here is $90 war bond, or you can get it for $100 store credit. And if you were to get destroyed, which is kind of easy to do with this ship because she's a little fragile, but don't let that get you wrong here, it does have a 4-minute claim time or a 1-minute expedited time, which is just phenomenal. You're back out in the fight rather quickly, which I always appreciate. Now, taking a look at this ship's damage output, it has a total of 2,122 burst damage per second, and that's before any of the negative factors come into play, like right now, the 50% takeaway on damage due to ballistics, and the 30% if they have shields online. So with that, this ship would go down to about 424 damage per second with shields up, and that 50%, negative, nerf to the ballistics right now. Now, if you don't have shields online on a ship, it does 1,061 damage. So once those shields are down, you can rip through plenty of things. Even with the shields up, this thing still kills rather quickly. Now, the pilot also has 8 size 1 Marksman 1 missiles, which is pretty cool. Now, talking about that burst damage per second, it's because of the 2 size 4 Relentless L-21 ballistic Gatling guns, which is bespoke to this ship, so you cannot change the weapons on this boat. You could probably change the missile type, but that's about it. Now, that Relentless L-21 ballistic Gatling does have a round speed of 1,650 meters per second, so it's definitely not something to slouch over, right? Because it is a fantastic round speed, amazing gun, and hopefully they never touch it. They never harm this beautiful beast when it comes to that, because she's a fragile boat, and I'm going to tell you why. Due to the 2 size 1 shield generators giving you only 3,000 bubble shield, which I say only, that's actually really fantastic for a light fighter, so I will take that any day of the week. But she does have 8,500 ship HP, and that is broken up kind of harshly on this boat. That HP is, of course, broken up on the canopy, the nose, the body, the wings, the engines. There's a lot of areas that HP is broken up, so it's not like you have 8,500 HP in the whole body. It's like you have 2,000 HP in the whole body. So when you get hit, or if you take a missile strike, it might not end well for you. And then this ship does move pretty fast. Is it like Razor EX speed? No, but it's still very fast, especially compared to other light fighters and other fighters out there in the realm. Sitting at 230 SCM with a 510 forward boost, a 250 backwards boost with a top nav speed of 1,225. Now, some people are probably going to be like, wow, this ship is kind of small to be moving that speed. I think it should be a little bit faster. Honestly, no, this ship is super small, and that speed is fantastic. It's such a hard ship to hit if you are anything bigger than it. It really is hard to hit this ship in those situations. Now, you do have a 75 52, 210 pitch yaw roll with a boosted 90, 62, 252, which means that when you're pitching or you're yawing or you're rolling, you're going to be outmaneuvering pretty much every ship out there in the verse, except for the Arrow and a few others potentially, but it is a fantastic maneuverability for a boat like this, which anybody would appreciate. Now you do have 48 flares and 5 decoys, as well as a 9 SCU of hydrogen fuel and 0.9 SCU of quantum fuel. A little low on the quantum side, but it is definitely not going to harm this beast because she is not meant to be out there doing long-range engagements. It is going to be a carrier-borne ship or a station or base-borne boat where you would go up and take care of a target and then come back and land and refuel, so no issues there. Now, I do want to show you this vehicle out here in the open in first person, so let's go ahead and do that. And taking a look at this ship now on screen, she is gorgeous. She really is. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you all the features on the exterior, but first, the number one thing I'm going to say is no. It doesn't have its components pass. Well, maybe it does. The components are there, but you can't open any of the doors to get to them, which is truly too bad. And I don't know why they would do that. I think new ships should always have that ability because then they have less work to do in the future when it comes down to adding the components. But let's take a look at the rear of this ship. First, right here on the back left, you do have the ability to enter the pilot seat right on over here. And then over here is where you're gonna find your weapons rack. So on the port side of the boat, on the back side, you just go ahead and hit open and it comes down and you have a nice space for your rifle, handgun, utility slots, whatever you wanna put here, you can do that, including a medical gun, tractor beam, a rifle, pistol, whatever you wanna put there, you can definitely do that. Can you put a railgun? No. No railguns, no big weapons like that, but that is truly fantastic. This thing is going to be hell of a bunker runner. Running to bunkers and doing other short-term missions with this ship and having the ability to store your weapons is such a fantastic thing to have on a boat like this. Now, if we move to the other side over here, you're gonna see, not too much until you get right here. This is a nice storage locker. You can go ahead and open that up and store what you need to do. 450K of USCU, which is actually quite good. I do love that. That's like the size of 5 backpacks, I believe. It's definitely not a bad amount of space. Look at the detail on this ship. Caution, hot. And yes, that is true. If you saw during some of the scenes throughout the video here, this actually heats up. It looks really cool. It's a really cool effect, and I do appreciate that. You're gonna see where they're gonna have some of these component access areas throughout the boat here on the bottom and all around. They even have a fuel port already in and ready to go, so that's pretty nice. Gotta love that. And then it's very easy to get on this ship because, well, pretty much even when you're in a heavier, denser atmosphere, right here is all you'd have to do is just where it says no step, you're gonna go ahead and step. And then you make your way up here and you have more areas that are probably gonna have components and other accessible things like a, fuel port up top for when you're airborne refueling, like right here. Fuel port, nice, airborne refueling. And then, you got your engine intakes and everything. She's a pretty boat, so let's go fly in it really quick, fight a couple PvE targets, because I don't have any PvP targets. If you watched my live stream last night, you saw I got a bounty, and then I got chased by 4 of these things while I was in one, and I killed one of the targets and then took off. It was quite the night, quite the stream. So let's go ahead and do some PvE really quick, and then I'll give you my score.
Your adventure, courtesy of KRUGER Intergalactic. Systems active. Engine system active. Launch successful. Landing gear raised.
right, as you can see, that was a very quick PvE bounty. I do have to say, my biggest complaint with this ship is the cockpit glass. It is just absolutely disgusting. And in any lighting situation, it makes it very fuzzy. I feel like I have a major issue with my vision, and it's just not a pretty sight. So hopefully they can clean that up and make it look a little bit better, as it should not look like this. It really shouldn't, especially on a brand new ship. What's going on? But the cockpit itself is truly amazing and has such great detail. You do have the ability to turn off your interior lighting here. That turns off the lights on these little knobs and everything, which is pretty cool if you're like nighttime flying, you don't want these bright lights in your face. It's a pretty cool little feature here. But then you also have an ejection seat, a nice little clock there. You got 2 MFDs, a massively beautiful view, especially if you're running head tracking and you're always able to move your head. It is just super cool. Love that view. The guns feel great. You have 8 missiles. I mean, it's overall just such a fantastic boat. So I do not mind this at all. I think it's absolutely worth the purchase. Overall, for me, this ship is a 96 out of 100, just because it does have great damage. It does have some missiles, which is awesome. It does have 2 shield generators, which makes this thing actually quite competitive, especially with that 8,500 health pool. Even if that 8,500 is a little bit spread out, I mean, that's okay. It could be worse. I mean, the speed is great. She sounds phenomenal. I think this is a win. Absolutely. CIG, you knocked it out of the park, so congratulations on that. What a fantastic ship. A great amount of accessories on it, too. Now, get that components pass done with it and clean up the windshield just a bit, and I think it's going to be super, just like one of the best ships released this year. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of the L-21 Wolf down in the comments below, and I really appreciate you all being here. Truly. I really do, and keep an eye out. I'm starting the giveaway this weekend, which will include multiple ships, including one of these with LTI, brought to you by CIG. So, thank you, and I will see you all in the next one.